Hello, Stephenville. Each week we sit down with an interesting person in Erath County and ask them 10 questions about their daily lives. This week we sit down with Erath County Judge Tab Thompson. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good, great. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, well, let's get started. What are your daily responsibilities for the county?
Well, the county judge position is a pretty interesting and unique position in government because the county judge has responsibilities in all three areas of government: legislative, judicial, and executive. And included in the day-to-day activities, a blend of all those, but we might be doing something that involves somebody needing a pothole fixed in a road, all the way up to trying to negotiate a contract to buy a piece of equipment or something like that. So it is a very wide range of matters that come through this office. So you never quite know what you're going to get.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I'm sure you've come a long way since your very first job, but what was that? What was your very first job?
First job I had, of course, I'd had a lot of just around the neighborhood kind of jobs, but I worked for Pug McCoy over at the Stephenville Ice House. I worked where they bagged ice. We took the block ice and chopped it into big blocks and threw it in the grinder, and then put it in paper bags, and that was then dispersed all over Stephenville. So that was my first job.
All right, who do you count as your mentors?
Well, you know, I'd have to say my father is probably my greatest mentor, and then my father-in-law. Both of those men have probably had more influence over me than anybody else.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
I'd be more flexible. I did yoga for a little bit, and I probably need to get back on that, but I'm not very flexible. I can't touch my toes, and so I think that would be the main thing. I'd be a little bit more flexible.
All right. Well, in your position as the county judge, what do you consider your greatest opportunities?
Well, the greatest opportunities that we have in county government is to make sure that we're providing the taxpayers with the best government that we possibly can for the least amount of money. To make sure that we're using their money wisely and that we're spending it wisely. You know, we're just stewards of the taxpayers' money, and that's the greatest challenge that we have is you know, because the wants are endless, you know, and you have to separate between what people want and what they need. And after you do that, you get down to what is needed. And then the real challenge is how do you get that accomplished with the amount of money that we have? So that's the greatest challenge.
Well, you kind of answered that, being the greatest opportunity, but what are some of your other challenges in county government?
Well, here again, the job is so varied, and there's so many things that come through here, and you know, trying to make the very best decision day in and day out. You know, we just try to take it one day at a time, to be the very best that we can be today, because that's all that we've got. And then we want to be diligent in trying to plan for the future and make sure that we're not just thinking about this week or this month, but we're thinking about the next 5 years or the next 10 years and trying to plan accordingly. So that's probably the biggest challenge.
All right, how has technology impacted the way you do business today?
Well, when I came in office 16 years ago, we had a few computers scattered around various offices, but none of them were tied together. And we found a company, and we actually used the tobacco settlement money that we got from the state of Texas to buy a county-wide computer system that ties all the courts and clerks' offices together. And it's a wonderful system. You can start a file out in the jail as soon as somebody is booked in, and that file and that information electronically can flow through all of the different offices that it needs to in county government, all the way through to the disposition of the trial at the end of that. So it's a time saver, just like all computers are.
Sure.
And it's allowed us to do more work with fewer people.
All right. Tell us something about yourself that most people do not know.
I wrap all the Christmas presents at Christmas time around my house.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. Now, Debbie does the bows and the ribbons and all that stuff. I don't do that. But just the, just the back-breaking, wrapping that goes on, I do all that.
All right, and if you could have a different career other than what you're doing today, what would it be?
Of course, I guess everybody would like to be, a tour guide up in the mountains or something like that. But I've really have enjoyed what I've done with the county, and it has enough variety that it remains interesting and fresh. So I'm pretty satisfied with what I'm doing right now.
All right. Well, thank you, Judge.
You
And
bet.
thank you, Stephenville. Check back to Empire-Tribune.com frequently to see who we'll sit down with next.